Welcome to the channel. This is the fishing place. I'm Joe, nice to meet you, and we're going to start doing a lot more YouTube videos. So if you watch me on live stream on TikTok, make sure you subbed on here as well. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of both today. So we've got the live stream set up there, so we're going to be doing that. So hello everyone on the live stream, and we're going to be fishing here. So first of all, I just wanted to show you what we are using. So we've got our Groovevolt Teclon Surf, and we're going to be using that to catch the smaller stuff. So we're going to be targeting the likes of whiting, dabs, you might get the odd codlin on there as well, rocklin, stuff like that. That's what's around this time of year. We're going to be using a mixture of black lug, blow lug, razor and squid on this, just little tiny baits. So as you can see there, I've got a gripper lead on, a nice short rig with short traces. Now when you're fishing the River Mersey and it's going to be pulling as strong as it's going to be pulling, your nice short traces can work an absolute treat. Now the whole point of that is the fish hits the hook and then it's only got this much snood to bounce back on itself, whereas if you've got a nice big long snood and the fish hooks itself up, it's got a lot of movement and it can unhook. Our first bait of choice, just as we're waiting for everything to defrost, is some nice little pieces of black lug. So we're just going to thread them on just to there, and then we're going to leave that barb sticking out. We're also going to use what's called bait elastic to attach these on, because these types of hook, these are an Aberdeen style hook, these are actually one of these are a size 4. If you just have your bait hooked on there and we go like our dab, they like to suck at the bait, that will end up just coming off the hook and you won't end up hooking your fish up. We want that barb sticking out. You do not want to mask your barb. So there we go, we'll just get that on there. Happy days. There we go. And as you can see there, if the fish comes along and tries to take that, we're more than likely going to hook him up, which is fantastic. And then our next one, we're going to do exactly the same. Bait elastic. Now you can buy these from any tackle shops. If you do want them and you want to get 20% off, you can buy the Cox and Roll one. There is a link in my link tree in my bio, as is for hooks as well as line. And if anyone is into your freshwater fishing, they do have freshwater stuff on there as well. It's sprayfishing.com, and use the code TFP2024 and you'll get 20% off all your Cox and Roll stuff. A nice 5-ounce gripper that's going to lock in, and we're going to have one bait hard on the floor and one bait sitting about a foot off the ground. So this is a 1 up 1 down rig. It's one of my favorite rigs. I use them all the time, and of course plenty of fish on it. Right, let's get this cast out and then let's get our other rod set up, get a pulley on that, a nice big bait, and yeah, hopefully start catching some fish, which would be ideal, wouldn't it? It's time to get the other rod set up. We're using a Penn 515 with an Any Fish Anywhere GBFS Pro Mark II. Absolutely fantastic rods these for the River Mersey. Super stiff, got really good bite detection on them as well. But yeah, absolute belts, I absolutely love them. But the only thing is here today, I'm using mono. Usually I'll have my thick spool out with my braid. It's just so it cuts through the water nicely. Now the disadvantages of using braid is there's no stretch. So if you're using a really stiff rod like this and you've got braid straight through, you haven't got that forgiveness as the fish is taking the bait. The main disadvantage to the mono is the drag that it does in the water. A lot more surface area on mono than there is on braid, and obviously because it's stretchy, it just doesn't hold bottom as well as braid does. So you'll notice you can hear that clicking noise. Now that clicking noise is our ratchet on the side. So if I was to take this ratchet off, this spool would be running freely and it'd end up birds nesting on us, which is what we don't want to do. So when we're in that position now and we're ready to tie our rig on, we'll lock that off and then we're all good. It's not free spooling. So those who have never used a multiply before, super simple. This is your bail arm, if you will. So you lock that off and then you'll have a free spool there. This is your ratchet. This here is your magnets on the side, and this one here is to tighten and loosen your spool. And then obviously you've got your star drag there, which again tightens and loosens your drag. So when you're fighting your fish, you can loosen that off a little bit so you can give it line, and tighten it up if you don't want to give it line. So yeah, that's it, simple as. When you're about to cast, put your thumb on there, knock it off, keep hold of that, and then let that baby go. Right, let's get a bait on this. This is our rig that we're putting on the Any Fish Anywhere. This is a pulley pennel. We've got a medium-sized pulley, Now the whole point of this rig is that obviously this is locked in to the seabed, and then the fish takes your free flow and trace. It runs, and then bump, it locks off, and that's what hooks your fish. So it's got that run, 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 bang, lock off. That's the point of it. But if you look at the rig, I've got 3 beads here next to the swivel. So there's our pulley bead, we've got 2 clear beads, and then we've got a glow in the dark soft bead. Now the whole point, there's a soft bead on there, that's to protect the knot, so it acts a bit like suspension. I don't know whether you can see that there, but if you pull it, it suspends on the knot and it doesn't cut it, whereas a hard plastic bead, it would press against that knot. Also, it's acting sort of like a boom, so it's holding the rig off your main line there where your lead's attached. So that's it really. So there you go. And then on the bottom, the only thing that's not cox and roll is we've got our Trident clip downs there. So we've got a nice little clip and then our splash down there. So the whole point of this is so it's a fully castable rig. So when we put our hooks into there, that locks off like this, and then all your weight is connected to your weight. So you're going to have a big bait on this, and that's going to be there. So as you're casting that, it's going to be more streamlined, and as it hits the water, bump, it'll do this and it'll come off for you. So that's the idea anyway. Let's get this baited up. So our first bait, we're going to put on a couple of fresh juicy lugworm, which is one I prepared earlier, Blue Peter Special. So these are a few I had left over from the other day, and we've put them in our fish tank to get them nice and fresh. So we're going to go for 2 lugworm, and we're going to thread them up. You can use a baiting needle if you want, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to go straight through its head. You never put a worm on tail first, and the reason for that is its tail will come away, so it'll end up just falling off on you, which is not what you want. So we're going to thread 2 lovely juicy lugworm up there, just like so. Happy days. And then we're going to get our razorfish, which we prepared earlier, and we're going to plant that on the side. And we're going to get our bait elastic, which is here, and then we're going to start winding that round. Now this is very difficult when you're trying to film and put it put it towards the camera, so if we get this a little bit wrong, please don't laugh at me. Let's just get it started first. So the one thing about bait elastic is you don't need to tie it. So just get it started, get it wound round itself just once. I'm just going to hold that there so it's easier. It's just too slippy. Just too slippy with this lead. Hang on. Let's put that lead in my pockets. There we go, that'll make it easier. So there, the thing with bait elastic, you don't need to tie it, you don't need to do anything, you just need to get it started. So get it wrapped around itself and then wind it nice and tight, and it will eventually contract around itself just like it's doing there. So we'll take it all the way to the top there, bring it down just like so, lovely jubbly, and then we'll just concentrate on this little bottom bit here because we don't want it to slide down onto the barb of the hook. There we go, whacked round, lovely jubbly. So there we have our bait all wound. So there's our fixed hook on our pennel, and then we're going to get our sliding hook and we're going to take this down to there, and we're going to wrap it round 3 or 4 times and then take it through. Now I like to make sure that I've tuck it round the bait elastic as well, so underneath the bait elastic, so it's got something else to catch on to. Now if you want to, you can put a little bit more bait elastic on there just to make it a bit more streamlined, but I find doing that, it just ends up ruining your rig. You end up getting bait elastic absolutely everywhere. But there's our beautiful bait, 2 barbs sticking out. If a nice codlin comes along, bosh, hopefully we're going to hook them up. So we'll clip this in just like so. See what, guys, my hands are freezing, absolutely freezing. Roll on the summer. So we'll clip that in, so that's all in properly now. So as I was saying before, all your weight is in one spot. So this is a different lead as well. This is an SKM, a 5-ounce gripper. We've got the soft wires on this one today, so hopefully it's going to do the trick, and hopefully we're going to bring in a nice codlin, which would be nice. Right, let's get this cast out. Now we're going to get this first rod in that we cast out before, see if there's anything on there. We're going to get the bait changed over. Hopefully our little bits of squid have now defrosted ever so slightly, which will be absolutely fantastic, because I'm not joking, guys, your things are going to fall off, and there is no way on this earth I want to lose all feeling in these. Yeah, they're swollen. Some people might appreciate that, but I don't. Oh, it's in a snag. First cast in a snag. We're not happy with that. We're not happy. Right, let's try and get this out. If I lose this rig, I'm not going to be happy because I'll have to make another one. I'm going to lose this rig, aren't I? There you go, it's gone. She's gone. Snagged. Snaggoed. So this is one of the reasons I hate fishing the River Mersey at the moment. Look at this. Absolutely vile. Should we see what we've got today? We've got wet wipes. Definitely wet wipes. Got black bin bags. Oh, it's just great, isn't it? I can't believe I've just lost that straight away, first cast. Oh, look at that. Oh, we're in luck today, guys. We're in luck. We're in luck. So, what have we caught for our first cast? So, the River Mersey, as you know, guys, it's not polluted at all. Not one bit. You'd be silly to say it was polluted, wouldn't you? Absolutely silly to say it was polluted. So, we've got a sanitary towel there, fantastic, with a wet wipe attached. What looks like, what can only be described as a pair of knickers. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect. Right, let's just cut this swivel off so I can get these off. Where's me skizzers? Where's me Johnny Rizzers? If this is a day of absolute sewage, I'm not fishing. Simple as, I'm not fishing. Right, so we're just going to cut that swivel off because we can just slide all this down now. So there's our first bit there, wet wipes, sanitary towels, you name it, it's in there. And then there's our second bit. We've got wet wipes in there, a little bit of tissue, absolutely beautiful. And people wonder why my immune system's so high. I'll tell you why. It's because I'm dealing with all this every day. So we just make a pile about that and then we'll put it in the bin when we're going home. Absolutely disgusting. So we've got our rig ready to go, and what I've done with this one, this is a nice little rig, this, because it's a mixture. It's two rigs in one. So if you like to fish a 1-up 1-down like me, or you like to fish a 2-hook flapper, sometimes I like to fish and bum. I'm a 1-up 1-down kind of guy, but if we have a little look, we've got a clip on the bottom and a clip on the top. Now if you look at the position of them swivels and them snoods, if you flip it upside down now, we've now got a 2-hook flapper. If you put it this way, guess what? You got a 1-up 1-down. Absolutely beautiful. Seriously, I don't know how I think of these things. Mind blown, mind blown. So I'm fishing braid straight through. The reason I'm fishing braid straight through is because I do not want a big fat shock leader creating loads of drag. So using a very, very soft tip rod. So we'll get that bite texture, which is nice. So that tip action is going to give us the stretch that mono would. So there you go, that's my theory anyway, it works for me. So how we make our knot, just to tie our rig on, is we just fold our line over, we make a nice little cheeky loop just like so, and then you just pass it through twice. 1, 2, pull it tight, and now you've got a nice loop. So this is like a double strength knot, if you will. Doesn't come undone, absolutely fantastic, and it's super strong. You thread your swivel on, and then you just pop that underneath there, just like that. Happy days. Pull it nice and tight, and then you've got your swivel attached on there, and you can just clip your rig straight on. So the rig that we've got now is, obviously we're going to use it as a 1-up 1-down, but if you turned it round, it could be used as a 2-hook flapper. So we're just going to clip ours on, and then we're going to get a lead on the bottom, and then we're going to cast it out, and then we're going to catch some fish. That's what we're going to do. And if we don't catch fish, it is what it is. We're not going to call it the fishing place anymore. We'll be called the standing place. How's that? Or the scenery place, or yeah, anything really. But let's get this lead on, let's get a bait on, let's get it out and see what we can do. We like to fish big on this channel, big baits. So we've got a really nice block of squid, and what we're going to do is we're just going to tie that onto an anchor and see if we can pull out a Mersey monster. What do you think? No, I'm only joking. That was really silly of me. How embarrassing. We're going to cut it into nice little fine strips, and we're going to get our 1-up 1-down with a bit of black lug. So we're going to do black lug tipped with a bit of squid. Yes, we are. We have to catch it a shot. I will say though, calamari, calamari, get yourself some calamari. Just gonna make this nice Nice little fine strips there. Job's a good one. And we're going to do them about that length. And then we're going to get them on. Okay. Now another little trick you can do is just give it a little bit of a push there, a little bit of a squeeze. And then the same on this side. And that'll just soften that squid meat for you. Just create a little bit more flakiness, you know. Everyone loves a bit of flake every now and again. They do. So we're just going to clip that on there. Happy days, and leave that bit hanging off. Now a lot of people will cut this down and down and down so it's a little star of squid, but not us. Oh, not us. We're going for flappiness. Get our elastic, whip that all the way around. Happy days. Just pull that bit off there. Happy days. Barb sticking out. Bit of squid there. You know what I mean? It's all good. It's all good. Same on this side. Pinch. Wind. Job's a good one. And there we go. Black lug. Tip-toed squid. Seen it here first. You probably didn't see it here first, but you did today. It's time to get the big rod in, get the bait changed, but I'm really worried. I'm worried that it's going to be full of weed. I'm worried that it's going to be snagged up, and if it is full of weed, it's going to get caught in the shock leader and we're going to have an absolute nightmare. But let's see. This is one of the beauties of fishing the beautiful River Mersey. It's absolutely vile at the moment, but let's see anyway. So again, I'm showing you how to use a multiplier. This is a Pen 515 and it's got no level wind on it, so when you're winding this in, you've got to make sure you wind it yourself. Now a lot of people, when they're winding in, they'll get excited if they've got a fish on, and they'll end up with a big bundle of line in the middle, and then next time you come to cast, it's game over. It's absolute game over. So just make sure that you fill the gaps. That's probably the best way to explain it. So don't worry about necessarily going side to side all the time if you've got it not level. And if sometimes you mix up and there's a little bit more on one side, just fill that gap. Just fill that gap, because remember, next time you cast, that line is coming off the same way that you put it on. So I've got a feeling this is in a snag. I've got a feeling we're going to lose absolutely everything. But as you can see there, I'm just filling that little gap in there. We're coming up now, just tighten that up a little bit. Feels like it could be moving. There's a lot of weed on that. So what I'm doing here is, right, there's two things you can do when you're in a snag. You can either point your rod directly at the snag, wind up tight and walk back, slow pressure, and sometimes that'll get it. This is a very stiff and powerful rod, so I'm trying to use the rod to release it slightly for me, because I don't want to lose all my gear. I might end up losing my gear here, but I don't want to. And if I do, this reel is going in there and I'm going braid straight through, because I'm not messing around today. But we'll get that wound on, just nice and slowly, and just feel it. We got it, happy days. So there, as you can see, we're just winding. What's happened to that? We're just winding and we're just filling that spool nicely, and there's all that weed now. Fantastic. All on the top of my rod. Yeah, but as you can see, we're filling nice and tight, and there's our shock leader, and we can't go past our shock leader, so we're just going to have to pull that over and release all that weed off the top. It's not as bad actually as I thought it was, but at least we got it out, which is good. There's our rig come through. There's the snag we were in. A load of braid, some wet wipes. Fantastic. Imagine being able to fish, right, and not catch sewage. It'd just be amazing, wouldn't it? Absolutely amazing. And there's our bait there. Some little things have had a little go at it, but it's predominantly intact, and that's been out for about 20 minutes. So We'll go for squid next, I think. We'll go squid, black lug and blow lug, but we'll get that cleaned off in a minute. But first, let's get the tip of the rod. So this is the bit I hate. Is if I wasn't using shock leader, it would be quite easy to sort. So I could just cut my rig off and then slide all that horrible sewage down and off, but I can't because I've got this shock leader knot here. So this shock leader knot is stopping us from doing that. So what we're going to do is hold it tight, and we're going to ping it like a catapult. Takes a while, but it's the only way. So this is eating into our fishing time, but it is what it is. Ideally, you don't want to fire it to your face. Go nearly there. This is the bit I hate, when it goes inside the eye like that. There we go. And this one here. There we go, so that's all off now. It's not actually as bad as I thought it'd be. We'll wind this on and I'll show you the reel now. Fully loaded. And we'll just get our slack on there. Make sure you put a bit of tension on that if you're ever in this position. There we go, happy days. And now we'll get this rig sorted. But first of all, we now need to sort this rod out because there's a load of seaweed, a load of sewage on there, I reckon now. There we go, we're going to lose our second rod. Our second rig of the day. Right, wind that all the way to the top, release, and now it's very easy and accessible to do your same thing. But first of all, we're going to get a fresh bait on this and then get it cast out. As you can see there, guys, the baits are coming back untouched, absolutely untouched. So if we are going to pluck a fish out today, it's going to be lucky. It's going to be very, very lucky. Let's get it baited up and let's get it out. Well, we're getting a little tiny rattle now. This is the worst fishing it's ever been, guys, ever been. We're just getting so much wet wipes and tissues and sanitary towels. It's absolutely disgusting. We're getting a little tiny rattle on the little rod now. I'm just fed up, I'll be honest with you, of just pulling rubbish off my line every 2 minutes. So bad. So bad. I think I'm going to pack up soon and go home, but do you know what, no, I'll just persevere. I'll persevere and see what we can do. But if it's not a blank, I'll be very, very, very surprised. We are officially at Last Chance Saloon. Got 2 baits left. We've just snapped our shocky there in a deep snag. So what we're going to do is now, I was actually tempted to go home, but I've sucked it up and I'm not. I just want to fish for the next probably half an hour, 40 minutes, get that first bit of the ebb in, a little bit of a pull just before it gets too strong, and hopefully it's going to produce for us. But there, as you can see, we've got a lovely juicy black lug and razorfish bait there. So we've switched over now, we're on the fixed spool, braid straight through, so we shouldn't have such a major issue when we're winding in with all that weed. Today has probably been one of the most disgusting days I've had in a very long time, and with the tide being so small, it shouldn't be as bad. You usually get this on the bigger tides, but yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. There's nothing much to report, if I'm honest with you. We're getting little tiny rattles, just bump. We're going to get our last bait out now. This is our last ditch attempt. We're going to get this in, get our last bait out, and fingers crossed. We are now praying to the fishing gods. Hum, fishing gods, please come and bring us the fish. Come on, fish. Well, that's officially the end of our session. We've lost how many rigs? I don't know, we're on about 5 rigs lost. Sewage caught. We had all the bait, all the gear. No idea. But until next time, guys, and I promise you the next video, it's going to be some really nice fish. I have been known to break a promise. Yeah. See you on the next one, guys. Don't forget to drop us a little sub. I would appreciate that. And toodle pip. Bye bye.